On today's show, the guys are reaching into the vaults way back to last month for a discussion with Matt Dozier, Executive Director of the East Initiative at EastCon 2019. The guys banter it up about education and more up next on EduTechGuys. You're listening to the EduTechGuys, EduTechGuys.com. Hello and welcome to this episode of EduTech Guys. I'm David Henderson.
Hey, I'm Jeff Madlock.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for downloading, tuning in, playing this in your browser, whatever you're doing, however you're listening. Thanks.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but I can tell you where you can go. You can go straight to the web and look us up at www.edutechguys.com. Heck, just go out to Google, type in edutechguys.com, and we cannot guarantee what will come up. But I can tell you what will come up is us, because we're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
Don't forget to visit us on Twitter, especially. If you got something you want to tell us, go out to twitter.com/edutechguys and tell us. Or one of our new favorite platforms, Instagram.
Yeah, man.
I really like Instagram. I think there's
Take a picture, put it on the line.
Yeah. On the line.
Instant pictures. It's instant. It's instant.
I'm creating graphics in Adobe, Spark, putting them on the line. Canva, putting them on the line.
Yeah.
And my camera, putting them on the line. I'm on the line.
You are on the line.
Sounds like I'm doing lines, but I'm on the line. It's really crazy. Crazy there. But yeah, Instagram seems to be, I think there might be a massive move from Twitter, an exodus, not maybe an exodus, but, things go in, they come and go, but Twitter still has a good following and, Twitter chats help with education, but there's no such thing as Instagram chats. But I think that Instagram reaches a lot of people. All those stories are really catching on.
Right.
But I have to give mad props to those educators and anybody out there, those influencers that are doing these massive stories with 75 small videos where they're talking about, then there's the thing is that, I couldn't put myself on there because half the time I don't have my makeup on. So that's a YouTube video for that. Is there?
A tutorial, sure.
Yeah. Oh, but man, Instagram, woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the big difference between, especially when you're talking about Twitter with educators and Instagram with educators is I think Twitter is still very heavily used, as you mentioned, in the Twitter chat.
Yeah.
Where you still get that back and forth kind of conversation. I don't know if conversation is necessarily the right word, but where you get that kind of dialogue, throw ideas out there and people can respond. Where Instagram is more about you kind of putting your own spin on.
Right now.
There you go. Yes, exactly.
I'll throw that in there.
There you go.
Always looking for a reason to sing a song.
Always.
I like to sing.
There's always
about
something
the moon
there
and the
to
June
remind
and the
me.
spring. I like to sing.
One of the best cartoons ever.
One of the greatest. Oh, come to me, dear. Yeah. So now that if you're still listening to us,
and your ears aren't bleeding,
today we have a really great show. We're going to go back in time.
Got to go back in time.
Sorry. Woo. Hello, Huey. Boy, these people have to, if you're still listening to us. So really, we're going back in time. Last month, we were at EastCon 19 in March. And it was in March, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in March. Yeah, wow. March 2019. But this whole semester just seems like it's flying, doesn't it? But yeah, we got a chance to sit down with Matt Dozier at the conference. He's a very busy man at that conference, but he sat down and had a nice chat with us. And so we've edited together some of the stuff, and we'll listen to it today. I think you'll enjoy it. Really highly intelligent man, very passionate about education, about learning for students, about learning period, about for anyone that matter, but really pushing the envelope of what students can learn and what problems they can solve and what they can do for the country and the world.
Well, and him taking over the East Initiative project, I mean, really has moved East leaps and bounds forward in terms of what they're doing with students, what they're doing with the program across the country. I mean, I don't know, it's just so cool. And as we often say, he was doing project-based learning before there was an acronym for it.
Right. Isn't that funny? That
well, actually, he had his own acronym. It was EAST. But anyway.
So true. So true. But yeah, listen, we're gonna look at a few sponsors first. We'll hear from some sponsors, and then we'll one sponsor.
Singular sensation.
The producer just told me one sponsor from the booth.
Uno sponsoro.
Thank you, Charles. But yeah, we're going to take a look at one sponsor, and then we'll drop right into this interview we had with Matt Dozier. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this.
You know, I've been in education now for almost 30 years, and I've seen the challenges that some students have to face every day. Whether it's going to school hungry or not being able to see a doctor when they're sick, these challenges make it hard for kids to focus on learning.
Thankfully, Concordia University in Portland is leading the way with their 3 to PhD program that helps to combat students' fears, freeing them to pursue their highest dreams. They're revolutionizing education by creating a holistic model that provides groceries, health care, and even clothing to students right there on campus, helping them thrive and helping our communities strengthen and grow.
Yeah, Concordia's College of Education offers online and on-campus programs where the students have the opportunity to learn about a more compassionate approach to education and to see how nurturing the whole student can lead to amazing things.
To learn more about how you can help students conquer their monsters and achieve their highest dreams, visit cu-portland.edu/let's conquer. #nurture, educate, grow. So how's your day? How's your conference been? You got here what, Monday?
Yeah, we got in Monday evening.
I saw the big diesel. from a 4x12 U-Haul to a diesel, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Actually, the first one we piggybacked off of one Axiom was doing, and so they just didn't take down all the stuff.
Oh, cool.
We've still got the design layout from that one in the museum.
Yeah.
It is the silliest little thing you ever, and we thought we had done something.
Yeah. But you had, though. I mean, think about that. I mean, you know, you had done something that no one has done before.
Not this way.
Not
and
this way.
That's what partnerships are about, because that came out of the fact that we were taking students and facilitators to someone else's, and it was mind blowing. Yeah. They were big tech in Birmingham. I don't know what big tech in Birmingham looks like now, but at the time it was the biggest thing we'd ever seen. Yeah. They had developed some of the software that was being used in the movie Godzilla, that kind of thing. The one with Matthew Broderick, not the
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the first year that East went there, they stayed in a park in like tents.
Oh, wow.
The second year we got a tour bus, because the first time they took a school bus, and I probably shouldn't say this on something that's going to be permanently recorded, but I'm not exactly sure that they were supposed to take a school bus across state lines.
Oh, yeah.
So the next year we got a tour bus and went, and we stayed in a hotel outside of town, and the next year we took 3 tour buses, and they told us this isn't a kid thing, and we were like, but this is a good thing. And so, Andy Harding, let's put on a show.
Yeah.
Right.
How hard could it be?
Not that hard.
We can do this.
But we did it.
Yep.
And it has grown, and it has gotten bigger and better, and every year we sweat out, how in the heck are we going to top that?
Yeah.
And somehow or other, every year, they get better.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think you don't have to worry about that anymore. This boulder's rolling, and it's not going to stop. So it's a juggernaut now.
This year, some big changes that I think say a lot about not only us, but how they do. We adapted our Founders Award. Mm-hmm. In years past, if a school had to apply, we didn't want to be in the job of trying to pick or sort or anything like that. Sure. So they had to step up and say, yeah, we think we're good enough.
Okay.
And then we would winnow it down to finalists. We had an off-site judging group that would go through all the submissions and winnow it down to finalists. And they would present to a judging panel here. Mm-hmm. And for the first couple of 6 or 7 years, it just worked. But in the last couple of years, the judges have taken longer and longer and longer and longer because it had gotten to like Olympic ice skating levels of difference.
Sure.
You know, who's having the most impact? This elementary school in a large town or this high school in a little bitty town?
Right.
When everything we're doing is amazing. So it was coming down to like the 5th number after the decimal point.
Right.
And we realized we're not about that cutthroat competition.
Yeah.
And we didn't want the judges sitting there sweating out because we always believed as long as whoever wound up at the end, if you could look at that and go, I see it, it's good enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this year we've adapted. They didn't do that. And we don't have one. We have 4 founders winners.
Oh, wow.
Every one of them is presenting tonight. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
You don't get to you don't get to take home the trophy and call yourself the national champion. You're as good as it gets.
Yeah.
We recognize that, but we're going to let you show it to everybody from stage.
Sure.
And tomorrow they get a full breakout session.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they really are as good a representation and cross-section as you can possibly get.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And you can meet Arkin, who printed his own leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
We were talking about that.
In fact,
last week.
I was just talking with one of the teachers from that area, and that was Ellie's dad that I was talking to off mic, and that's the first person he brought up. He said, "Oh, you got to meet this kid who 3D printed his own leg," and I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
And so, not only does he own his own advocacy and challenge for what other people would see as a barrier. Mm-hmm. Now his facilitator has the very large job of trying to convince him he's still just a 7th grader.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a hard one
Had to widen the doors a little to fit that head through
that's
there.
That's harder
right?
to do with 7th graders, period.
Well, he is an incredibly outgoing and wonderful kid. I mean, best of the best. But there's a tendency towards that.
Well, sure, there's going to be. I mean,
anytime you get that kind of attention.
Seventh grader or 70-year-old. We're dealing with the same human.
We're 50-year-old nonprofit execs who wind up singing and getting slimed.
Yes, exactly.
You enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. Because this is. My wife says that this is 3 days I don't need because I need to decompress after this because she says when you walk in there, that's not you, man.
Yeah, that's your other persona. Yeah,
that's the character you play on TV.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
That's really cool.
You know, that's all part of it. As you said before, that's all part of the showmanship of
at least
the
she
entertainment.
knows that and knows how to handle you afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But you guys. Oh my goodness. I mean, quantum leaps over the last 6-7 months in not only quality of the people that you're talking to, but the things that you're talking about. The show is excellent.
Thank you.
And we will never be able to repay you connecting us to Wellington.
Oh my gosh. Do
you want to know what they told us? Our numbers are off the chart. They have never seen numbers like ours.
Really?
That is fantastic. Well,
that.
And our sample size is too big for anybody to ignore.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely is.
Well, it makes sense. We've had 3 students now who've told us that that's been the biggest impact of this conference is visiting with Wellington.
Okay, those are students. Those are kids talking about like educational research.
Yes.
And one said that when he gets back to his school, that's his biggest push is to make sure that they get involved because that's going to change the landscape of his school.
Well, we've been looking for something like that for a long time because we believe that testing is Testing is a valid data point. Testing is something that we're not going to say that tests are useless, but tests are also not terminal. In the real world, you don't take a test and then move to the next thing. Formative assessment, I think, is the fancy term for where are you right now? Have you moved forward or backwards? And, that's the way the real world works.
Exactly.
So we've been looking for a tool for something that we could model that would get away from, because we've already shown that we raise test scores.
Yeah. Right.
And we've piloted that, and now we're talking to them. We want to go big because we would like, working together, we would like to help the rest of the educational universe understand there's a different way to look at it that might just tell you something. Yep. Because intelligence is not a number. It's not 3 hours in April. It's a process. It comes in all kinds of shapes, forms, and shapes, sizes, and forms, and it comes through engagement.
Yeah.
When kids care about what they're doing, their grades go up. They're smarter.
Yeah.
Except they're not. They're the same kids.
Right. But what's really interesting is the other thing we notice about the East kids period, but East kids specifically here, it's not just about the intelligence. It's the empathy. It's the character of the student, the character that changes. I mean, it's a multifaceted level. And I have to tell you, that is a common thread running through every kid here, every project here, every program here.
That's baked into. That's a feature. What's the thing? It's a feature,
It's a basic. Yeah, it's not an add-on. Yeah, it's a basic feature. Yeah, it comes free with the program.
It's hardwired in because East is built on look out into your community, work with real people, solve problems. You cannot help but be moved to get passionate about the things that other people are passionate about, to care about other people.
Yeah.
Friedman calls this sympathy. He's been writing about it. He calls it sympathy. He says that's where the future is. And I'd like to think that we've been doing that for 23 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times when we've had guests on, whether it's at a conference talking with educators or it's guests that specifically are on a particular weekly show, what have you, how many times we talk about the East program doing STEM, STEAM, STREAM, whatever letters you feel like sticking in there, project-based learning, the whole 9 yards, long before any of those coined terms ever existed.
Yeah, before it was cool.
Okay, we don't live in a binary world, and we shouldn't. Education shouldn't be a binary system. I'm big in. I have a big passion for nonprofits in general because they're mission driven. They're trying to solve problems, etc. But the trick there is, instead of fighting over your scrap of ground, figure out how you can work together. There's a place for all of it.
Right.
Lego League and Vex and the Lead the Way and New Tech and whatever you think of, there's a place for all of it. The right tool, the right model for the right kid at the right time means you're building on success. We don't think everybody should switch over and do East, except for the part that everybody should focus on the kid and not the content.
Yep.
Right.
But instead, we believe that we can come in and connect with nearly anything except the repeat after me.
Right, yes.
We can connect with nearly anything, and both will be better.
Yeah, I agree.
That's awesome.
Is that how we get to the moon? Because I'm a nut for going to the moon.
See? If the Chinese don't beat us there. No.
Well, little known East fact, and I'll let you guys get back to it.
Yeah.
Our founder, Tim Stevenson.
Yeah.
His father worked on the Gemini program.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And he actually...
I knew that, actually.
He was working for them before they were NASA. and may easily be one of the fathers of what we now think of as the internet, because they were out in the salt flats trying to transmit data to Florida over the phone lines, and it wasn't working. And the way after visiting with Mr. Stevenson, the elder, and him explaining it to me, I think they invented packeting.
Really?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because when it got there, those big computers that spun up, and Mr. Spock knew that he was in the wrong place. They figured out how to tag all that data so that the computer could put it back together.
That's pretty cool.
Man, that is amazing.
Packeting leads to IP, or leads to just everything. I mean, that's
how data is transferred.
That's how DARPANET comes around.
Yeah. That's wild.
That is so cool. Awesome.
Well, we're not trying to run you off, but
thank you guys. Thank you for being here.
Hey,
thanks for doing what you do, and have fun with our kids.
Hey, we want to thank Matt Dozier for sitting down with us at EastCon 2019 and having a nice chat with us about everything that's been going on for them. And we're glad to bring it back on the show. Give him one more shout out. And if you haven't checked out East Initiative, just go to eastinitiative, all one word, .org.
Yeah, man. Or follow them on Twitter at East Initiative.
And same thing for Instagram and Facebook.
That's right. Everywhere, like us.
They're one of the big three. And I don't know if they're on Snapchat or Tumblr.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's what you put rocks in at the tumbler, and it polishes them up.
I always wanted one of those. I really did.
As a kid, you know.
But I never did.
Polishing. So one of our neighbors, he polishes stones, and then he did his entire shower and polished stones by hand. You know, he took all these.
Oh yeah.
And he polished them, and he put them in as the tile. Yeah, and they epoxied them in. And
that's cool, man.
I thought so. Yeah. Yeah, it took him 78 years. No, I'm kidding. Not sure how long it actually took, but he did it, you know, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, that's one of those things in America where you go, I got to get me one of those. And you get one, and you tumble a couple of rocks, you know.
Like the bag that comes with it.
Yeah, and you do it for a while, and then it's one more thing.
It's like the Snoopy
you walk
snow
past
cone
it,
maker.
and you go, hey, look, there's that $178 rock tumbler I
exactly.
got. You know?
Like I said, the Snoopy snow cone maker.
Exactly.
You make 4 snow cones because that's what comes with it, and then after that, nothing.
Well, actually, I actually make snow cones every night. I went on to Amazon and bought 17 of those, so I always have one at work. I'm kidding. I never had one. My parents.
I never did either. I never had one of those.
My parents were pretty rough on me.
I had a big wheel and a green machine.
Oh, green machine! I had one too with
the dual handles.
Yeah, it was funny. We lived in the country, out on the country road, and the only piece of concrete we had was like a 9x13 concrete pad that was the back porch. So I had to ride the green machine, which it had those giant wheels in the front, and I had this 9x13 thing, and it was terrible because it had like a 75-foot drop off. So it's like,
so if you didn't skid just
you had
right,
to pull back on the things and go, stop! I'm gonna fall off.
We one time my brother and I were with my dad, and we were driving from Pittsburgh to Cleveland to see my grandparents, and my dad's car broke down, or our car, or whatever. Anyway, the car broke down, and so we were on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and he had pulled off to an exit or up an exit ramp, or I can't remember. He was parked, but he was parked in a place where you couldn't see the car. And so all of a sudden this police car comes around, he's got his lights flashing, and the only reason why he saw us knew we were there was because my brother and I were riding our green machine up and down the exit ramp to the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Oh my gosh.
The cop was like, you can't let your kids do this.
Now see, that's good parenting in the 70s. That's just good parenting. Your dad cared. He cared.
He did.
I mean, I will put my kids' lives and myself in jeopardy. Right. What are you in prison for? I let my kids ride the green machines on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
That's right, man.
But hey, like I said, I love those big wheels they have for adults now. They have those slider bars so you can slide on them. You see those guys doing all the cool, sliding. We have a big campus, that has 80 classrooms, 10 halls. It's massive. And I always thought it would be really cool if the tech department had big wheels, because the kids would be in the home. We're like, sliding up to a room, taking out some Chromebooks. Hey, here you go.
There's a switch.
I got to be a tech guy. They've got big wheels.
They got big wheels.
Yes, we do. We've got big wheels.
We got big wheels and we cannot lie.
Especially when I trick mine out with some lights and some speakers,
There you go, man.
Yet nothing screams awesome cool like sliding in on a giant adult-sized big wheel with, Mary Had a Little Lamb blowing out the speakers.
Hey, don't be knocking Mary Had a Little Lamb now.
Just telling you. Hey, listen, don't forget to visit us on the web.
No idea what happened here.
Yeah, one day we're going to do a real podcast.
One day.
Yeah, so listen, if you
grow up and do a real podcast.
Hey, if you'd like to see us this weekend,
why?
We're going to be at the AAIM conference in Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And that's the Arkansas Association of
Instructional Media.
Man, it's I can't get that one to roll off for some reason. That's a big word.
It is.
Instructional. I've never used it. 30 years in education. Instructional. First time I heard that. Oh, I know why it is. I always throw the instructions away.
That is no lie. I'll vouch for that right there.
You have seen that happen.
I have seen it happen.
Yeah, I am the guy. I'm the poster child for I put the thing 3/4 together and had to take it back apart and put it back together. Oh,
Wait, what's this piece? Oh, man.
I can't open it.
This was in step 2.
Wait, it plugs in? So, anyway, listen, check us out on the web at www.edutechguys.com. Just go to Google, type it in. You're going to find us. Let us know what's going on. If you'd like to be on the show, check out our website, beaguest.edutechguys.com. Sign up. If we like you, we'll let you talk. If we don't, you'll never hear from us again. But no, really, take a look at it. Let us know what's going down. Follow us on the web. Subscribe to whatever we have that says subscribe to. So
go to iTunes and like us and leave a review.
Please.
Seriously, we need that.
We've been, all over the place, and we have like 3. So
we need some loving.
Well, we're really not. We never have been just into the, getting likes and loves and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're not real big self-promotion. I mean, we like to promote ourselves, but we don't beg for that kind of thing. Well, now we're begging.
We'd rather promote you. So we'd rather promote.
We would actually. You're right.
It's kind of true. But that sounded sweet, didn't it? That was true, but I mean, yeah.
It is.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the EduTech Guys. EduTechGuys.com.